Welcome everybody. I'm Caroline. This is my husband Bill. This is our best buddy Ori, and we're here to bring you a standard yoga class that has a little touch of laughing lotus in it without all the downward facing dog. So it's a little more accessible to folks that have wrist issues, shoulder issues, hip issues, knee issues. We just take all the gloriousness that they taught us and then we shake it up a little bit. I'm going to start by mentioning that you need to consult a medical professional before you start any kind of movement program. I am an advocate of that kind of thing. Let's take a deep breath. Sigh it out. You know, at home, you might want to start any type of music that you like. It's up to you. You can always pause us and go back to doing what you need to do. These are one-take wonders, so just go with it. I'm going to start by reading a little bit by a book called Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. He talks about neuroscience, quantum physics, quantum healing. It's where the science of self-healing meets all of the yoga that we do. And the part that I came across today that I really did love the first time I went through this book, and I was like, you know what, this really speaks to what's going on. And he says, let's take a closer look at what happens biochemically inside your body when you think a thought or feel an emotion. When you think a thought or have a memory, which can happen at any moment, a biochemical reaction begins in your brain, causing the brain to release certain chemical signals. That's how immaterial thoughts literally become matter. They become chemical messengers. These chemical signals make your body feel exactly the way you were just thinking. Once you notice you are feeling a particular way, then you generate more thoughts equal to how you're feeling, and then you release more chemicals from your brain to make you feel the way you've been thinking. For example, if you have a fearful thought, which many of us have been having lately, you start to feel fear. The moment you feel fear, that emotion influences you to think more fearful thoughts, and those thoughts trigger the release of even more chemicals in the brain and body that make you continue to feel more fear. The next thing you know, you get caught in a loop where your thinking creates feeling and your feeling creates thinking. If thoughts are the vocabulary of the brain and feelings are the vocabulary of the body, and the cycle of how you think and feel becomes your state of being, then your entire state of being is in the past. What that says to me is that many of the fears that we're feeling now because of the unknown are actually rooted in fears that we've experienced before. So emotions are like sheets of paper laid one on top of the other. And if I've felt fear before, this fear that I'm feeling now from the unknown is going to seem similar, and the chemical process in the body is going to start up. And then with 60,000 available thoughts a day, 40,000 of those roughly repeating, I could be experiencing fear 40,000 times a day. So that's a little heavy. We're going to take our science and use it for what it's for, a pack of seeds. Because if fear thoughts are seeds, then so are joy thoughts, love thoughts, all of those types of thoughts. And seeds, especially here in spring, we can plant them, but if we don't water them, they won't grow. If I take them and scatter them on the ground, not much will happen more than my chickens will come along and just eat them. So we have to take care of them. So right now we're going to push aside some of the chemistry that creates these fear feelings, and we're going to see if we can plant seeds that maybe will grow into something else. So, deep breath in. Exhale out. We'll start with a nice big Om for everybody here and everybody at home. We appreciate you joining us. We're doing these just because normalization is key in times like these, and most of us aren't necessarily used to isolation. So if you want to or amen or hallelujah, any sound that makes you happy, we're going to breathe it in and make that sound come out. Inhale. On the next breath in, sigh it out. And then we're going to work our way into a child position. If you have bum knees, body parts that are squeaking or aching today, and child pose isn't for you, I totally understand. You may want to start out on your back with your thighs pulled into your chest instead, because that's a child's pose, just turned over like a turtle on its back. There you go. Yep. So in a lot of these sequences that we're gonna be doing, Bill will do some of the modified things because of shoulder surgeries and loved knees from all of his working out. Ori will go for gold, and I'll either participate or come over, and you'll see me kind of move people around with some assists from time to time. And as we're in this child pose, we're going to do something a little scary. Feel what happens in the body. Treat it like a science experiment. Notice where it goes first. We're not trying to trigger anything. What we want to do is follow it down the yellow brick road to where that particular thought lives in your body. Because that body chemistry will cause it to gather up in that space. And once it travels into that space, start to deepen the breath. Pull the breath into that space. This is the quantum physics piece. Because if the body can produce chemistry just from a thought that can turn us upside down, then why can't the body produce chemistry to heal us right back up? Take 2 more breaths into that body space. It could be your toe, it could be your chest, it could be your head. The corners of the jaw and the tops of the shoulders are common. And then the next time you get a chance to sigh it out, let it go. And now bring in your happiest image of spring. In some places it's still very cold. Some places it's already really warming up. What's your favorite thing about spring? And notice if it has a place in your body. May have not ever even thought about it before. And once you locate spring in your body, breathe it in and then slowly start to reach one hand a little further forward from the crown of your head, and then the other hand a little further forward until almost like a cat you're kneading the top end of your mat, reaching forward so that you're stretching out of the shoulder blades. Crawling a little further away from the hips each time with that upper body. Beautiful. And I can imagine for a seed, it's not so hard or not so easy to get out of its little casing. It needs water. It needs to soak. So we're going to soak the opening of the front side of the body for one more breath. And then walk the hands as close together as you can. If you can turn the pinky side down so that you have prayer hands right over the top of the head. Imagine that those hands coming together are a bit like two halves of a seed. And if we can find the space in the body where spring lives, pull it into the palm of the hands as you breathe a circular breath, inhaling through the spring space in the body, out through the fingertips. 2 more times, in through the spring space, out through the fingertips. And 1 more time, in through spring space, out through fingertips, and then let those hands come down, press just below the shoulders, rise up, hips over knees, and then start to sway from side to side or in circles, moving the body. Almost as if a little tiny green shoot trying to get out. It's not quite ready yet. It might need 1 more day of rain or a little bit more sunshine. You might want to press one hip back toward one heel. You might want to reach one hand forward. So every body is different. Now, in the first yoga video we made, I was like, there are 3 rules in yoga. And I only mentioned 2. And then we discussed it later and figured out that I actually have 4 rules in yoga. And it's kind of laughable because I'm not a whole lot of a rules person. So now bring those hands right up under the shoulders. And here's rule number 1 that we're going to go with. Rule number 1, there is no pain in yoga. It's not a no pain, no gain system. It's pain creates more pain. Wanting creates more wanting. Needing creates more needing. Pain creates more pain. So if my knees are in pain right now, Bill has got this handy dandy little squishy thing. You might want to roll up the edges of your mat. You might want to grab a towel. You might want to grab an extra mat. All of those things. You can also roll up the end of your mat. Put the heels of your hands on, let the fingertips drip off. So now my knees are padded, my wrists are padded, and I'm okay. If I'm still not there, then I come down onto my forearms and I try to keep my head in line with my spine. Rule number 2, no locking of joints. So if my elbow pits or antecubital spaces are facing the very front edge of my mat, then my elbows are locked and I can cause cartilage damage. And we want to unlock them so that we can strengthen the muscles to always hold the joints properly. And then from here, I'm going to make sure that my hands root down. I'm going to shift into my left knee. I'm going to send my right heel back. My belly button is going to pull up into my spine to pull my guts in. Because if my guts are hanging out, then I'm putting undue pull and stress on this lumbar spine. Beautiful. Now all we're going to do is we're going to take the toes and we're going to rotate them out, and then we're going to rotate them back down and rotate them out and rotate them back down. Beautiful. Rotate them out 1 more time, and then here we go, right up into fire hydrant. That right knee is going to pull up. Yes, this is where everybody says bad things about me. We breathe it in, we breathe it out, and then we start to make circles with the right leg. Beautiful. So I have 2 more rules in yoga. One of them is that there is no competition with your inner self, not even your 20-year-old buff inner self. Pause, make those circles go in the other direction. Beautiful. And the last one is modify, modify, modify. So if I need something up under my elbows right now, and then I'm going to make this hip go around in circles 2 more times. 1 and 2. Now take that heel, press it back, turn those toes back down. Let the knee come in toward the nose, arch the back up toward the ceiling, and take 2 breaths. Beautiful. Don't they look great? They look awesome. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Press that heel back. Inhale real big here. Ah, the knee comes down. Now here is a class favorite. Curl your toes, press down into the hands, lift the knees about an inch or two off the floor. So you can't see behind my prop here. So Bill has like, yes, it's just gorgeous. It's just enough. So what we're doing was we're activating everything in the core, like a little seed trying to burst out of its little husk. Breathe it in. Breathe it out, put those knees down, shake from side to side. Oh yeah, tensor fascia lata. There you go. So Bill was just shaking his wrists. You can come up onto fists, or if he would like a bolster, I will happily provide him with a bolster. We'll be off of these hands and knees in just a moment. All right, we're gonna plant antecubital spaces facing each other, no locked joints, left leg reaches out back, belly button draws in. We press into the hands to make sure that chest wall is nice and tight, and then we turn the toes out, and then we turn the toes back down. We turn the toes out, we turn them back down. One more time, we turn them out. Now breathe it in because that knee is going to come up right next to the hip. So we kind of want 90 degrees. We want 90 degrees from the body down through the thigh, preferably through the shin, but with hip, knee, so on and so forth issues, you make it work for you. Now start to make circles. Beautiful. Yes, warming up that synovial fluid. We're going to treat the synovial fluid and the heat that we're creating with these circles a bit like watering the seed. One more time around, and then pause wherever you are, go in the other direction. Oh, I can go back and thank Yoganan for these circles. I must say I have to apologize to him for all the times that I didn't say very nice things in my head while doing these in his classes. One more time around. Oh yeah, then push it back, turn the toes down, belly draws in, and then nose to knee. Pull it through, 2 breaths. Beautiful, they look awesome. And then take that knee, put it down, walk the toes together, walk the knees as wide as the mat. If you can, push the tush slightly back toward the heels, crawl the fingertips forward, drop the heart space down toward the mat. Now the heart is the big seed. That's where we want all of our emotions to start. With big love, big gratitude, big appreciation, while we work adamantly toward 40,000 thoughts a day not being fear thoughts. Shift forward onto hands and knees. Walk the knees a little closer together. Right foot steps up by the pinky. And then for those of you that need to just walk the left knee back and maybe pad it up, and you can shift from here, you can do that. For those that want to do the shifting by picking up the knee and pressing the left heel back, and then putting that knee back down, and then lifting and pressing and putting it back down. So it's up to you. You can stretch through the right hamstring, or you can start to warm up. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. And then we're going to shift and really press that left heel toward the wall behind you. Like I said, modify, modify, modify in all the ways. That right knee comes in contact as best it can with that upper arm. Inhale. Exhale, left hand stays where it is. Right arm peels up, right hand reaches toward the ceiling. And just a sidebar note, if I get my lefts and rights mixed up, don't judge. And if I leave out postures, you know I'm human too. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Swirl that right hand back down. Left knee drops, knees plant. Stretch out one more time. Reach beyond the edge of the mat if you can. Reach toward the wall behind you with your tailbone. Stretching as much as you can to loosen up everything that's locked up here in this beautiful spine. All right, here we go. Bring it up and in. Woo! Plant the right knee, left toes come forward, and then choose shifting for the left hamstring or toe curling, lifting and dropping and lifting and dropping. And I did notice my elbows were starting to sneak forward. So I got to make sure that what I'm doing is pressing into the mat to use the chest wall, not shifting forward so I can hang on my shoulder blades. All right, so bring it up and in, straighten that back leg, plant the right hand, and let your little seedling sprout left hand up toward the ceiling. Inhaling and exhaling. Next time you exhale, that hand slips down. Now, you're going to bend that back leg, spring like a cheetah. Nice wide stance, either side of the front of the mat. Forward fold, loosen at the hips, loosen at the knees. Maybe intertwine the arms if you want to. Beautiful. Head hangs heavy. 10 to 14 pounds of gloriousness up here. Use it for traction. Breathing in. Gorgeous. Breathing out. And now really start to wind it up. Make bigger movements, bigger motions. Let it be what it needs to be. If your hands are on your thighs, you could really shift through the hips and the knees, lifting toes, lifting heels. Stir it up. Beautiful. One more shift and twist, and then straighten the backs of the legs. Hang center. Find your seed hands again. Put the palms of the hands together, and then shoot the palms further than the front edge of the mat, letting the head hang heavy. Now, if Bill needed to, he could put his elbows on his knees so that he could hold here without straining his lower back. That is, if that's what he was trying to protect. Let the fingertips shoot and shoot and shoot. The ears in between the upper arms if you can. Breathe it in. As you exhale, bend the knees a lot. Pull your seed in toward your heart. Utkatasana, squat nice and deep. And on the next breath in, slowly. I mean, we're like talking Mother Nature spring kind of slowly. Start to rise. Oh, feel the quads. Oh, yeah, spring is coming. Lift it up. And then with one more breath, let those legs become as straight but not locked. And pause in a standing position. Belly button draws in, and let's take the time to stack ourselves up. Toes facing the front of the mat as well as you can, unless you have hip or knee, and then let things move where they need to. The tailbone sinks slightly heavily toward the floor, but not tucked. They're warning us against that. We're now moving away from this Cro-Magnon look. We're slightly letting it be heavy. And then find the muscles around the tip of the tailbone and squeeze it till it smiles. And once you find it, you'll know, because you'll go, oh, there it is. Reach up a little more through the crown of the head. Level the jaw. There we go. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale the hands out and up. Make the seed over the head. Bring the seed through heart space as you fold forward. Reach the tips of the fingers with the seed still clasped down there between the toes. And then bend the knees. Come right back up through center. Seed through heart space. Point up at the ceiling. 2 more times. The seed pulls down through the heart. We fold. We take the seed down toward the floor. The hips go high. And then exhale. The hips start to rock. The seed comes into the heart. We press it up. Now, the sun is up there, so we're going to crack the arms apart, holding 1/2 of the seed in each hand. Press the pelvis forward. Squeeze the tip of the tailbone with those tiny little muscles back there. Breathe it in. Breathe it out, then hinging at the hips, bring the seed back together. Slice down through the air in front of you. Bring the seed down. Crack it apart, plant it in front of each foot, or throw it if you can't get down there. Boom, boom. That's what I'm talking about. Use your magic. Bend the knees a lot. Right foot steps back. So left foot is up toward one corner of the mat. Right foot goes back. Nice wide stance. And then we drop the pelvis down. The hands plant. Right hand plants. Left arm peels open. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. That hand peels down. As it comes down, let the body shift center, turn toward the side of your mat. You'll be a little cattywampus on your mat. So folks that really like structure and the lines of your mat to match the grooves in your floor, this is going to throw you off a little bit. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Turn those left toes forward again. Plant the hands, roll the back heel up. Now we're going to peel the hands up for a warrior one. There we go. Beautiful. Reaching up. Now Bill, he loves him some cactus arms. Shoulders, the big thing is that the shoulder blades come together in the back. I don't care if you can't lift your arms all the way up. You do you. Make it safe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Fold back down inside of that left leg. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Step the right foot forward outside of the right pinky. Forward fold. Find your seed hands. Bend your knees. Roll all the way up. Take the seed up toward the sky. Crack it open. Find some sun. Pelvis leans forward. Squeeze the tailbone. On the next breath in, the seed comes together. We crumple back down toward the mat. 2 more times. Knees bend. We peel up. Pierce it up. Crack it open. Let the arms be wide. Pelvis forward. Bring it back together. Slide down through center. 1 more time. Knees bend. Pull it up through center. Pierce the sky first, then open up, pelvis forward, hands come together, slice straight down through the air in front of you. Plant the hands, plant your seed in front of each foot or throw it into the dirt, and then step that left leg back nice and wide. Let the hips drop and then pull the left hip a little further forward, right hip a little further back until you can get those hands planted the way you need to. Then the left hand stays where it is. The right hand starts to peel open like a little green shoot coming up out of the ground. Modify this any way you need to. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Now we're going to sweep that right hand down, roll the back heel down, turn the right toes, and just hang in a wide leg forward fold. Beautiful. How we feeling? All right, I hope you guys at home have good music on. And you're just like losing yourself. All right, we're going to plant those hands. The right toes are going to turn forward. We're going to walk toward the front of the mat. Roll that left heel up. Get ready for your warrior one. Sweep it up. I personally like to keep my back heel high. So it was explained to me that if I roll my heel down, my pelvis then moves. Okay, my shoulders go with it. Then if I turn my shoulders forward, I'm now basically screwing down into my SI joint back there. Maybe not so great. I've also had many ankle injuries. I find that doing a warrior one with my heel rolled down doesn't feel good anymore. 44, baby. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Sweep the hands forward. You like that nice story for that long hold? Bend the back leg. Step it forward. Wide leg forward fold. 1 big breath. Seed hands come together, knees bend. Now this time bring it halfway up. Let the seed come in front of the heart. Now for those of you at home that this looks like HE double hockey sticks, take the hands, put them on the thighs, and take some weight off of the whole thing, or stand it all the way up. Those of you that want to get a little closer to the floor, drop a little more, breathing it in, breathing it out. Those seed hands are going to shoot straight up, but we're going to take 3 breaths to get there. I know, right? Okay, breathe it in. Ah, breath 2. Ah, oh, it's starting to shake. Breath 3. On the breath out, let the hands rise on breath 4. Sweep them out and down. Find your seed, find your belly, find your superhero hips, and the, oh, dear God, why did I turn this on face? Breathe it in. Pull my pants up. I'm going to get serious. Inhale and exhale. Here we go. Seed hands, breathe in. Exhale. Hands come down. Sweep them up. Find the seed overhead. Bend forward, slice straight through the air, bending at the hips. Hands plant. Jump, step, or hop back into a plank. There we go. I'm going to do the old step ski. Now, if you need to put your knees down and the tops of your feet, beautiful. Just make sure those elbows aren't locked forward. We want to press into that chest wall. Got to do it. Got to get it. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Now bend the knees, downward facing dog. If you want to take hands and knees, stretch back into a puppy or go into a child, please do so. But downward facing dog doesn't work for all humans. So Ori has got a nice, really long line here. I'm going to take my hands at her hip bones. I'm going to tell her to plant her hands while I pull the tip of her tailbone back toward the wall behind us. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. And then find that seed. Inhale. Exhale. And breathe into the spring. Bring in the spring, absolutely. Might make you sneeze. One more breath wherever you are. And then a little break in the knees. We're going to take those knees back down to that 1-inch hover over the floor. Oh, yes, worst transition choice ever. Inhale. Exhale, and then stretch back out into your plank. Inhale. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Left foot steps forward nice and wide. Forward, fold, seed hands come together. Bend in those knees, bring the hands into the heart. Find that deep Utkatasana. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. All right, I'm not going to make you have to have 3 breaths to get up this time. We're just going to push all the way up. Inhale. Breathe it up. Shoot it up. Arms out and down. Find your seat at heart or heart and belly. I call this heart and soul. Soul. Oh, dear God. Yes. That happens in yoga too. Breathe it in. Find your seed hands. Exhale the hands down. Sweep the arms out and up. Slice the seed right down through. And then choices, jump, step, or hop back into another plank. Bam! Find that. All right, it's all about the elbows. It's all about the chest wall. It's all about the knees kissing the mat if need be. And then the other thing is the belly draws in, tipping the pubic bone in toward the xiphoid process, that little hangly-dangly thing down there at the base of the sternum. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. This time we're going to take the right knee, we're going to drop it down. Right hand plants, the right toes are going to come off the side of the mat. We're going to roll the left fingertips up toward the ceiling. And then the goal is lift the right ribs a little more and rotate the chest open. Modifications for this, you can come straight up from here and hold here, breathing it in, breathing it out. Roll back down toward the earth, pull the right toes in, step them back into that beautiful, beautiful plank. Establish the strength one more time. This time, left foot steps forward, right foot steps forward, wide leg forward, fold. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Find your seed hands. Get ready for that lovely sit. Boom, right there. Oh yeah. See, that just makes the body happy. That was the shut up Caroline face. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Shoot those hands up on the next breath. And then out and down we go. The beautiful thing about physical movement and yoga is that at some point the body becomes tired. At some point we don't do anything but move one pace to another pace, to the next posture. Thought becomes irrelevant. We just hear. We just get to be. Breathe it in. Exhale the hands down. See if you can be with your hands up. Find your seed and then slice through. Plant those seeds. Jump or step back into that plank. Knees high, knees low. It's up to you. You can jam in it. You can do all the things you want in it. Or you can just put your left knee down, turn your left toes out, and open the right side toward the ceiling. Gorgeous. So Bill's dropping his hand across the back. Beautiful. For people with shoulders that roll forward because of lots of push-ups, surgeries, things like that, this is a beautiful modification to do because it brings those shoulder blades together and it helps stretch the tendon structure that's there in the front side of the shoulder. Beautiful. Good job, Ori. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Roll that arm down. Sweep back into that plank. And then find a downward facing dog or a puppy pose. Puppy, hips high, hands out, forehead down. Child pose. Or trying to figure out what you need to do to squeeze out the yucky chemistry so that we can be open and receptive to new chemistry. Notice if your 40,000 repetitive thoughts have stopped. Notice if you're giving yourself time and love in order to just have a little mental vacation, a physical wringing out, so that your prefrontal cortex can have a break and maybe produce a different set of brain waves for a moment. Inhale, exhale, here we go. Are we feeling it? Are we feeling it? Knee hover. Oh, knees 1 to 2 inches away from the floor. If this isn't your jam, please don't do it. Inhale, exhale. We're going to take the hands. We're going to slowly start walking them backwards on the mat until our hands are close to our feet. We're going to root down through the feet, which are slightly wider than hip distance. If I've got 2 fists width in between my feet, then that's the outer edges of the pelvis. I'm going to take the fingertips, bend my knees a lot, move my fingertips in front of my right foot so that I have an equilateral triangle, left hand, right foot, right hand. Be careful for the wall, you guys. At home, don't kick anyone or anything behind you. Take that leg, that left leg, pick it up. Little modified perch pose, glue the knees together. If you want to point the left toes, you can point the left toes. If you wanted to turn it into a balance, you could pick that seed up, put it right in front of your heart, and hold there. Breathing in.
Breathing out, hands come down, left foot steps about wide pelvis width apart. Breath, hatha style, straight into the other side. Shift the hands, equilateral triangle. Knees pull together, right heel lifts. A little bend in that left knee to protect the joint. And then if you want to turn it into the balance, whoa, I'm going down. We take that seed, put it together, and hold it in front of heart space. Inhale. Exhale, hands drop down, that right foot drops down. Fingertips walk forward again. There we go. Find a short downward dog. So it's a little teeny one. You may actually have to bend the knees a lot and put the belly on the thighs. So big downward dog, little downward dog. Yes! So for those of you that love a little egg posture, you could bend into those thighs and do little hop kicks. Feels like, no, Caroline, not doing that. But if Ori were going to try, all she'd have to do is just kick and lift. There you go. Kick and lift. Some of you at home are really good at hand balances. You're going to pop, you're going to hold that egg. God bless you. Those of us, okay, we're about done with that. Take those knees, put them straight down on the floor. Sit back toward the hips if you can. Put the forearms down, stack one fist, the other, and then plop the head down so that you have a little support. I call them hot potato hands. And we just breathe. Hips high, hips low. But the head isn't hanging, it just has a little support. Beautiful. Breathing it in. Breathing it out. One more time. All right. Last little spin through here. I'm going to plant my hands. I'm going to rise up onto all fours. My right foot's going to step forward. My left knee is going to sneak back. I'm going to have a nice long stance between heel and knee. I'm going to bring the seed together in front of my heart. I'm going to drop my left hip a little further down and spin it slightly further forward. Beautiful. Holding seed right in front of your heart. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Now, if this is happy for you, stay here. If you want to shoot those hands up and create a little back bend out of this, pressing the pelvis forward, leading with that happy spring heart. Inhale. Exhale, the seed slides back down. We're going to twist to the right and either hold midair or sneak that left elbow in on the outside of that right knee and twist in toward the thigh. Gorgeous. The goal for Bill is working on his oblique muscles right in here. He's holding onto his spine. He's working on osteoporosis by having those muscles hang on. Breathe in. Breathe out. Unwind. Both hands high five the floor. Curl the back toes. Lift the back knee. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. One more time. Right toes come toward the side of the mat. We turn toward the side of the mat. Find that forward fold again. Now, for those of you that this is tough, you can always take a couch pillow, hang into that. You can always come into the knees, hang in there. Those of you that are more advanced, you can reach for the backs of the Achilles, reach between the legs. You can slide the head between and look up at the ceiling from the other side. Breathing it in. Breathing it out. Oh yeah, those of you that like tripod headstand, can go for that here too. You'll get a chance on both sides. Inhale. Exhale, come out of wherever you are. Right toes turn forward. Back heel turns up. Drop that left knee down. Step that right foot back. This time, take the hands a little wide. Cupcake under the palm of each hand. Drop your third eye down and try to broaden the chest. If it doesn't work, cactus arms on the floor. If that doesn't work, do whatever you want. Inhale and exhale. 40,000 repetitive thoughts a day. I can either choose to grow things or I can choose to cut things down. And a lot of both of those need to be done in a lot of our worlds. The last 6 months, I have cut down a lot of stuff. So I've got a whole new fresh flower bed that's growing up. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. All right, one more side. Here we go. Slide those hands in. That left leg comes forward. Right knee is back there. We're going to dig up that little seed, bring it up in front of the heart. We're going to bring that right hip slightly forward, left hip slightly back. Either hold here or shoot that seed up toward the ceiling. Fingertips back, little bitty back bend. Breathing it in. Breathing it out, the seed comes back down in front of the heart, and then we twist to the left. We can either hold midair, or we can touch the top of the thigh, or we can hook and twist. Breathing in, beautiful. The twist and hold for the obliques. We got the twist and hold for the centering of the mind. Inhale, exhale. Unwind. High five the floor, curl those back toes, lift that leg so that we can turn toward the side edge of the mat. Bend forward. Those of you that want to do your forearm stands, go forth. Headstands, go forth. Make sure the coffee table is not behind you. But find a place of holding. So if Ori were to take the tip of her tailbone and scoop it up just a little more, beautiful, and create a little scoop down here in the low back so that she were creating almost a tiny little back bend. She could even drop her forehead on the floor. Ah, beautiful. Just gorgeous. One more breath. And then coming out of whatever you're in, hands plant, knees plant. We walk around to that left foot. We put the right knee down. We take the left knee down. We put the belly down. And then elbows go under shoulders. Little Sphinx posture. So one thing that I know about Bill is that if I say, hey, put your rib tips down, that's his idea of just awful from having injuries. So the more kind way to do this is to put the forearms down, stretch the hands wide, and then once we stretch the hands wide, I want you to look at your fingertips, turn the backs of the palms down, bring all the fingers together on each hand. We're going to make 2 little seeds on each hand. Beautiful. So this is going to cause my upper arms to really pull into the side of my body. It's going to cause my belly space to open up a little more toward the floor. And if any of this gets pinchy or burny down there in the low back, then find a way to get away from it. Walk the big toes together. Press down a little more into the forearms. Really activate the side of the body. And then a little visual while we hold. Imagine that you have a little sprout coming up out of each set of fingers. What could you create if each hand were really a seed? Ori and I were talking the other day about the reason that Buddhists touch their forehead, touch their mouths, touch their hearts, and open their hands. And I learned this from one of my teachers when we were in Nepal last year. And she says that it's because they want to give their thoughts, their words, their hearts, and their hands to God or the world every day. And it's a reminder. So what's in these hands? What could I give? Instead of dishing out more conversations about what's going on in the world, maybe I could use my hands to be constructive. One more breath. Yeah, nice long hold. And then roll the collarbones down, flatten the hands, turn the head maybe to one side, or just put the forehead down on the mat. Oh yeah, class favorite. So, fascia rolling. We take our hips, we roll from side to side. I'm told that this is actually almost more effective than regular body rolling because we get a little competitive when we get into body rolling and we can actually crush or injure that space. This type of body rolling takes that whole skin layer and shakes it and pulls it away from the muscle layer underneath, releasing stuff that gets stuck there. Leftover medication can get put in that fascia layer. If the fascia layer is too tight and starts to scar, it won't carry water anymore. So therefore, it's not going to help moisturize the body. And then the muscles can become really tough. So this just simple rolling is a beautiful thing to do. And then here's going to be the fun part, because if you're joining us for the whole hip rolling bit, we're going to give ourselves 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we pause. That buzzing and that tingling, yeah, that's your nervous system. Just feel. What happens when you pause? Can you pause into the moment? Or do when we pause, the thoughts start back up again? Now, if the thoughts started back up again, go back into the rolling. Rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. That's just honest. If the thoughts haven't started back up again, awesome. Just hang, just stay there. Roll and we roll and we roll. Because most of us come to yoga through the body. When the body is moving, the thoughts reduce. When the body is out of motion, then the thoughts tend to come back and take over. The mind is just doing what it's supposed to do. We trained it to do that. So then I can roll. And then I don't have to think. And then I go for 5, 4, 3, 2. And I pause and I feel. Inhale and exhale. And then, as Felipe calls it, flipasana. We're going to roll onto our backs. We're going to keep our heads toward the camera because there's nothing quite like the videoed booty shot. So we're going to take the legs and we're going to throw them up over the top of the body. Now, for some of us, we're going to have to hold on to the backs of our legs because our hamstrings are really tight. We've worked out. We've done all the amazing things until, well, they don't get a whole lot longer than that. Runners, people that train midshipmen, you know. If you happen to be female, for a lot of us, it's easier. So Ori just needs to reach through those heels a little bit more. And then if you've got a good friend around that can come over and put a little, right there. Oh, see, that's just magic. It takes the heads of the femurs and really just settles them into the acetabulums. It's a real word, look it up. Breathe it in.
Breathe it out. All right, here we go. Take the hands to the back of the thigh. Walk the hands up the legs as far as they can go. Lift head and shoulders as if there was something really beautiful about right here. And you could just stare at it just lovingly while your abs go, ah. See, what we're doing is we're adding fertilizer for the space that we're going to plant the seed. We got to really stir the soil in there before we take this cosmic seed that we've been talking about and planting it back in there. Now, if you happen to be gritting your teeth while I'm talking, I tell stories during the hard part. The hold, it burns away the stuff we don't need anymore. One more big breath. And then roll the head and shoulders down, bend the knees, pull the thighs into the chest. Oh yeah, if you need to roll from side to side, more fascia rolling. Beautiful. Because the largest bank of scar tissue for some people is right here at the base of the lumbar spine, especially people that have done a lot of pull-ups in life, hammers, climbing ladders, climbing trees. The lats come down and attach back here, and it can build a really big pile of scar tissue. There we go. Breathe it. Ah, nice. Plant the feet like two little seeds right behind the tush. Bridge posture. Hands plant. Now take the backs of the arms, turn them up, make those two little seeds. There we go. Two little seeds, point them up. Bill's got two little fists. He's got the strong seeds. They might need like coconuts. We might need to, but anyways. Or he's got little dainty seeds going on. Check out what kind of seed you have. Some seeds, sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. So the hips, they rise, the heels, they root. Once you root the heels, roll down toward the balls of the feet. See if you can then lift the heels themselves. Beautiful. Tucking up and away, shoulder blades come together. Those little seeds are still there. We breathe in, we breathe out, and then we roll the spine down. Maybe the heels are the last thing that land, maybe not. Let the knees swish from side to side if they want to. You could always pick the feet up off the floor and let the legs kind of flip-flop from side to side. It's up to you, glorious you. All right. Now we're going to take our little seed again back into our bridge posture. This time we're going to go a little wider with the stance of the feet. So if you find you go wide and it messes with the knees, go back to the regular. If you find that, ooh, I did this really close foot thing and then I had this in my lower back and it went, okay, wide stance relieves a little bit of that low back tension. So we plant, we lift. This time, pull your shoulder blades apart. Take the hands up over the roof of the body. Beautiful, like a shark fin. Put those seed halves together. We did this one in the last video. Tuck the chin into the hollow of the throat. If you want, roll up onto the balls of the feet, but make sure it doesn't destroy the integrity of your posture. The goal is to keep the head from pressing back. The head should still be nice and free. 2 more breaths. You guys look awesome. Y'all need any stinking help? You're doing great. And then slowly, center of the back, low back, back of the hips, sacrum, arms flop out, palms up, make 2 little seeds or your cactuses. Doo-doo. There you go. Let the knees drift in toward each other. Little constructive rest. And while you rest, with your fingertips touching or your coconuts, it's up to you. What do I have to give? When I become fearful, I start gathering unto myself. I pull in. Hoarders, fearful. of whatever it is. You look around at someone's house and it's full of things. There's fear there. If I'm coming out of a fear space, I start giving things away. So am I holding tight out of fear, or can I finally let my seeds open up? What do I have to give? Love, love, love. Da, 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 love, love, love. Beautiful. Bring the knees and the ankles closer together. Let the soles of the feet come together. Let the knees go out wide. Baddha Konasana legs. Bring the hands up in front of the heart, and then cross one palm over the chest, the other palm over the chest, and take 3 deep breaths into these giving hands. And then decide how you'd like to spend the last few minutes of class. You can take your legs and throw them over a bolster or a couch pillow. Support the back of the head if you need to. You could roll on your side. You could roll on your belly. Shavasana in the yoga hut is whatever it needs to look like. And we breathe. And we consider knowing the 2 people that are in the room with me, like I know a lot of you. I know what they have to give. Love, both of them, all 3 of us. Ori gave us recording equipment because she knows how important this is. Bill gives stability. He gives structure. That sounds odd, but in times where people are running around, the sky is falling, Bill pulls into center and people move in because of that grounding nature that he has. I bring levity, I bring yoga. Everybody has something to give. Yeah. And I know that a lot of you at home, as you take your one last big deep breath, all of you have great things to give too. Let's think about those 40,000 thoughts and let them be 40,000 good things to give as we plant seeds that are going to grow from this moment forward. Give us a couple of minutes of ohms. If you guys want to join me, you're welcome to. Any kind of sound, any angel sounds, guide sounds. Those of you that are energy workers, draw it all in so that we can turn around and dispel some of the fear going on around us. choices. Lots and lots of choices. You can choose to participate in conversations or not. We can choose to do yoga or not. Here, yeah, 6 feet of space. Well, we all live in the same household. We eat at the same dinner table. We're lucky that way. I can't give you guys at home a hug. We're not in our normal place or our normal spaces right now. And we're at home in our bodies. So decide whether you want to stay where you are or whether you want to roll to one side and sit up. So we always share 3 deep breaths with ohms or amens or inshallahs together. It's up to you. Just as a small reminder, those of you that are energy workers, healing touch, Reiki practitioners, make sure you're working on yourself every day. And then give what you gotta give. You sound healers, keep singing. You lovers, keep loving. You gardeners, keep planting seeds. Parents, have a little more patience. You restaurant workers, God bless you. Keeping those streams of normalcy going on in our world. We end as we always do with 3 breaths, a belly breath, a rib breath, and a collarbone breath. Treat each one like a seed. Inhale into the belly. Breathe into the ribs. Sprout, push right through the soil. Namaste. I love you all. I'm so grateful that you guys found the time to practice with me today. And those of you at home, just keep loving. Got our seeds. Namaste.